Hey, Naomi Levy coming at you from Variety Bar at Bow Market here in Somerville. So we talked a little bit about preservation techniques. I'm going to show you another way to actually preserve an entire cocktail. We are going to be making a clarified milk punch. The great part about milk punch is once you have it, you can store it in your fridge basically forever. It really keeps a really long time, so it's a great project while you have some extra time at home to be able to have a fun cocktail whenever you want with no work down the line. So we're gonna start off by making our punch base, which is going to be comprised of a spirit, a sweetener, and a citrus juice. So today I'm gonna be using a little pisco, and we're gonna do one 750 ml bottle of spirit of our choice, today pisco. Then we're gonna go ahead and do 2 cups of some sort of sweetener. So this is generally a simple syrup. You can use a plain simple syrup. You could mix it up a little bit by doing a flavored simple syrup, which is what I've done today. I have a raspberry flavored simple syrup, 2 cups. And then lastly, we need our citrus. We're gonna do 1 cup of citrus. I'm using some fresh lime juice today. So 1 cup of lime juice. Okay. We are going to give this a little mix. So now that we have our punch base, we need to prepare our milk. We're going to be pouring warm milk into this punch mixture. Making milk punch is sort of like making ricotta cheese, except opposite. Instead of saving the curds, we're going to be saving the whey. But we want to pour in warm milk to actually purposefully curdle this. So the citrus in here is going to purposefully curdle the milk. So we are going to do 2 cups of milk. I like to use a whole milk, and I actually add in a little bit of half and half or heavy cream as well. So just about a half a cup of that to be heavy cream. This is a really, really old technique and really old recipe. So when they used to do this, they were using raw milk that contained the cream and everything. So having a little bit of that extra fat is what we want. It's gonna form some really nice curds for us. So we are going to warm this over a kind of low to medium heat, and we want to get it to about 180 degrees. This is sort of almost just under a simmer. We don't need to do much to it as it's heating. I do just occasionally like to stir it to make sure that none of the milk that's at the bottom is starting to get scorched or anything like that, and also to help prevent that skin from forming on the top. If you have a thermometer at home, you can use that to make sure you're at your 180 degrees. Otherwise, what you're looking for is almost a foamy top to the milk with some steam coming off, but not quite boiling. Once it hits that point, you're gonna go ahead and pour your milk into your punch mixture. Now, I'm not actually going to mix this up because that's just going to break the curds apart. If I'm gonna give it a mix, I'm just gonna give it one kind of gentle one to really, really incorporate. And I'm gonna add my spice. Technically, a punch is made up of spirit, sweet, sour, and spice. So I'm gonna add a little fresh grated cinnamon. All right, we're now gonna set this aside for about 20 to 30 minutes to allow the curds to fully form. Once your curds have fully formed, after about 20 minutes or so, you'll see that everything is kind of floated to the top. This is how we know that we're ready to start the straining process. So I'm going to be straining in just a fine mesh chinois. I don't use cheesecloth, I don't use super bag. The key to really beautiful clear milk punch is to let the curds do the work. We're actually clarifying the whole mixture with the curds. So if you try and rush the process by using cheesecloth, you're just gonna be straining the curds out, but you're not actually going to let the milk punch clarify, which is a really important step. So you're gonna need some sort of large container or pitcher and a mesh strainer of some sort. So to start, it's gonna come out cloudy. Ideally, we have a second large container to use. So really, we're using 3 large containers. We're gonna start the straining process to build the curds up on the inside of our strainer. We never wanna let the bottom of that strainer hit the milk punch though, as much as possible. So to start, I'm just gonna keep pouring this milk punch over. You can see that milk punch is coming out through the sides. It's not really a nice single stream yet. That's how we'll know that it's ready, when it's just coming out kind of slowly just from the bottom. It means that the curds have fully formed along the mesh inside. Now that the stream has started to slow, I'm going to kind of put it aside and let it do its thing. I'm gonna check on it in just a couple minutes. Also making sure that the liquid hasn't gone too far down. Right now, I really wanna keep the liquid up. It's full in this strainer as I can, because that's really helping create this, this barrier inside of the strainer as much as possible. So the milk punch is now coming out just from the bottom of my strainer. It's actually looking like it's coming out really nice and clear. This only took about 5 minutes or so. So I'm gonna go ahead. It's now really starting to clarify. You can see how clear that is. I cleaned out one of my pitchers so that there's no curds in it to sort of contaminate the clarified milk punch. And I'm gonna go ahead and move it over to the fresh, clean pitcher. If you have done this bit too early, you'll see that the liquid coming out is still a little cloudy. No big deal, just move it back to kind of your still curdly one. Give it a little more time before you then move it back to the clean pitcher. We're now just gonna let this slowly, slowly, slowly do its thing. Topping it off along the way. You can't rush milk punch. So our milk punch has been going a little while now. It's slowed down. It's just coming out as little drips. And at this point, you really just wanna not touch it, let it do its thing. You can let this strain overnight at room temp is totally fine, as long as you don't keep your room ridiculously hot or anything like that. And as you can see, we're getting this beautiful, beautiful clear liquid coming out. Once all the liquid has gone through and all you have left in your strainer is curds, your milk punch is done. Pop in the fridge and drink it at your leisure. If you enjoyed this video, or even if you didn't, please donate. Somerville and Cambridge area hospitality workers could use your help. Thanks.